Hey guys, just thought I'd give you a tour of my Diag cart. So, got my monitor, which is currently connected to my Dell laptop, and then the typically will stay there. And then my Surface I usually use with my tech stream. Most of the time, I can use both of them interchangeably, no problem though. And then I've got the 4425A. The only leads I have that are the BNC Plus are just the regular one-to-one leads. But I already had up my current probes. 2 Jarhead Diagnostics pulse sensors. I've also got an exhaust hose for one of them, and then various adapters for them as well. And then I keep this one, my high amp clamp, usually is on channel 2 of my scope, and then channel 1 is usually a one-to-one lead with alligator clips, and I use that for most of my battery tests as well as starting and charging system. And then I've got my low amp clamp up there as well. And then going through the doors, I've got Milwaukee soldering iron, automatic stripper. I can't see, so magnifying head glasses, some heat shrink, backup butane soldering iron from Power Probe, a little torch. That's my preferred way of digging up heat shrink. These are actually relay pullers. I do kind of like those, so you can pull them straight out instead of wiggling them back and forth. Nail polish for sealing wires after piercing if I need to pierce. Prefer not to pierce, but I do it sometimes. And then alligator clips, magnetized, and they come apart like that for soldering. I usually don't use that. Most of the time I'm using the Matco, I think it's called the Easy Solder Clamp. On that solder in there for you. Glass for cleaning up the solder iron tip. This is my favorite solder right there. It smells really good. And this is also the same one I use in here. I don't buy the stuff from Matco, it's too expensive. It's like $10 for a really big little amount of it. So I just wrap this stuff around the sharpener and it's fine. Seam ripper for opening wiring harnesses. It's test tape. I primarily just use this for like silencing panels, but sometimes I use it for harness repairs. Electrical tape that's seen better days. And that's it for that drawer. Next couple of drawers are pretty much a mess and full of resistors for whatever reason. Bulbs. These are the Power Probe piercing probes. I do not recommend these. I prefer the Pomonas, and I just found out a few minutes ago. Missing one of my Pomonas. Trying to get a new one of those. LED test light. Got an incandescent test light in the other drawer. This is an extension cable for the Power Probe, I believe. Yes. 20-foot extension for the Power Probe. I actually just have it primarily just to use with the test light or whatever. I don't use the Power Probe that much, but I do like it. Pins, if I ever want to use those. Most of the time I prefer actual piercing probes or back probes. OB test light. I've got a sealed beam test light right there. Just doesn't fit in here for high amp stuff. There's my Power Probe. These back probes are okay. These aren't my favorite. You'll see my favorite here in a minute. We're making custom leads. That's my Power Probe. And then all this right here, I'm not going to try to untangle all this, but this is, actually this is spare wire. This one right here is an extension lead that I made. I think this goes about 20 foot, something like that. I have 2 of these. That was before I got the Power Probe one. A couple of resistors, or I've already got one pre-made, and then the other one I haven't made yet. Just for using to do parasitic draw testing. Shunt resistor. various other odds and ends. There's my incandescent test light. Not the most organized, but it's good enough. Relay bypass kit, spark plug tester kit, which I rarely use. Cheap bore scope, rarely use that one. I've got a snap-on one from the shop. That's for testing the exciter for immobilizers. I'm trying to think what it's called. And then breakout box, OTC, love that. I just got through using it. This just saved my bacon. Helped me find a short ground on a crank sensor a few minutes ago. My thermal, I think that's a C5. Yeah, C5. Part of the Picoscope, I usually use it with the full sensors. I still have the stethoscope in here, I just don't use it that much. This I primarily use for clearing codes or something. I've got this radio in here for if I need to check smart key stuff. I haven't actually tried that method yet, but it's supposed to work good. Basically, I think you just get it all the way to the bottom of the band and you'll hear it on the FM. Temperature gun, primarily use it, check battery temperature when I'm doing the Pico diagnostics for the battery test. UV light that is apparently dead. Okay, so I need to charge that. Mongoose cable for pick stream. Here's that exhaust hose. And a mini tripod, rarely use it. UV or yellow glasses for the UV light. It doesn't need to be anywhere near this big, but I had this project box laying around for years. There's a 5-volt reference simulator. A couple of fluke leads there. Alligator clips in there. Temperature probe for the fluke. There's the fluke 233 with a detachable display. It's not as handy as you think. Either inside the car to outside the car, sometimes it can be a little sketchy. But if you're just trying to pick up the car or something, have it connected on top and see underneath, great. Fluke leads, the ones I keep on there are not actually fluke leads. I don't even know who makes these, but they've never steered me wrong, so I trust them. They're stackable banana leads. I would recommend getting the U-Test kit from AES Wave. This is the test kit from Cornwell. I do not recommend this one. Mostly I don't like the case. I'd rather have a soft case. And then also a lot of these ends are kind of too big. If you're trying to put two of them next to each other, especially in a small connector, for example, wheel speed sensor, I have to make my own with whatever I have. However, in this kit from Cornwell, I do absolutely love these back probes. I've never found any others like them, so I plan to buy more from Cornwell. I like that. Airbag Simulators. These are just little Y connectors. Relay splice. 5,000 ohm potentiometers. And then I think that was just a little diode. I've actually never messed with either of those, so I think they're just diodes though. Little LEDs. Underneath, that's my case for my Pico. It's a Apache case, I believe, from Harbor Freight. I know it's from Harbor Freight. I think it's called Apache though. But it's got the custom cutout foam, little squares, and I just took out what I needed and I just put a spray adhesive in there to kind of hold everything together. And then that's got a bunch of accessories in there. And then right there, that is my battery backup, so I don't have to keep this cart plugged in. all the time. If I need to move it across the shop a few minutes ago for Avalon, I actually made a video of it as well. And then obviously I've got the tilt boom. That's just made out of EMT, and then I mounted the monitor onto the tilt boom right there. Not the prettiest thing, but I frequently will take these cables off and move them around, so I don't worry about making them super nice and neat. This shelf over here, I wanted to be extra stable, so I actually just put JB Weld underneath it. Does the job. And this one, I leave it down most of the time just to have a little easier to move around. And but a lot of times I'll just leave one up there, watching Standard Danner or a YouTube video or something. So, and that's it for this cart, and I'll go over some of my other stuff in some other videos.